Hey Matt, getting to your videos here finally. Thank you for your patience. I had a, we had a bathroom explosion, sort of, and we had to do an emergency renovation on one of our rooms, and it was kind of put the kibosh on doing any serious work. But I'm finally getting to your evaluation. Thank you for your patience. 3 watches. Okay, first one is your 6309. I have to tell you, the movement just looks beautiful. It's really, really, really clean and bright and shiny. Clearly original, no lubrication that I can see at all. But it's just, look at the brightness of the metal and the cleanliness, the sharpness of the sort of the patterned surface on the plate. I mean, it's really bright, and it's running. I mean, when I open up the back of a movement, and I judge a lot. My first impression is how hazy or not hazy a movement is. You know, if you get a hazy movement, that means it's been working a lot for a long time, and you've got metal dust on everything, and maybe you got a little bit of moisture inside, and everything just looks hazy. And maybe the because you get the lubricants will hydrolyze, and it will sort of plate itself on everything. But I don't see that here, and it looks clean. The condition of the movement, how it looks, is borne out with how it's running. Unserviced, 223, 222. Absolutely no snow, no issues, no problems, zero, no beat error. I mean, it's a nice watch. I can tell that the time setting, like the resistance, is really light. Like, it doesn't take a lot of force to move the hands around, and that usually says to me Canon opinion. And you had said this was losing time on the overnight, and that's where that would be. It's not a major big deal. It's something that happens a lot to these. So I'm not super concerned with that, and I look at the numbers, and it looks fine. We're going to look at the dial here in just a second, but I want to get to your next watch. Hang on. Okay, let's talk about your really early Resist 6105. Same deal. You see, I see so many of these 6105s, right? So many of them come through here. And because 6105s have this fatally compromised crown, where people don't swap out the seals because you have to swap out the crown and the seal, a lot of times, I mean, for me to open up a 6105, especially of this vintage, 1971, and see, just like we saw with that 6309, to see these bright metal surfaces, the bright finishing on the plates, that does not happen very often at all. I mean, the dial was nice, but I did not expect to see this kind of brightness. And there's no wear around the mainspring barrel that's right here, and that's truly unusual. Because that's the sort of the Achilles heel of the 6000 series, is the lower port for the mainspring arbor, which is the axle that the mainspring barrel turns on. It's underneath the screw. Doesn't have even a bushing on the bottom, and they tend to wear if you put a lot of wear into these watches. But I don't see it with this. The movement looks great. Let's talk about the numbers. Again, not bad. I mean, it's got a little bit of beat error. And of course, it's losing time, but these are just adjustments. That's not a big deal. But running at 190 for a watch that's only 3 years younger than me, I don't see any servicing marks inside of it. It's a really good starting point for a watch like this. That's a really good starting point. I mean, the movement looks good, and it's clearly a runner. It's functional otherwise. The hacking works fine. Time setting feels a little light. Again, we might have to look at that Canon opinion, because that's something these things are prey to, but we'll find out more. I'm going to talk about the dial in just a moment. Okay, your last watch that you sent in is your 6138 John Player Special, and it is running. I mean, the watch looks essentially new, but it is running very, very, very poorly. I mean, just low numbers. It's not running badly. Same thing. See, look, almost no beat error, relatively steady, but look at that amplitude, really, really, really super duper low. I mean, it's trying to warm up, But see how we're getting the swoop here, and it's just not steady. I mean, it's getting there. It's trying to improve. I didn't pull the back off of it actually because the case back is pretty stiff, and I'm going to have to basically take the bracelet off and really go at it. I don't really need to see inside of it. I can tell you, I did everything. I checked all the functions. It resets properly. The white lume tells me that no moisture ever got inside because Seiko lume reacts badly to water. It's like a canary in the coal mine. I can tell you the movement's dirty. This bump right here, that is the movement trying to push over the minute counter wheel. And so there's enough resistance in the movement that it's having trouble doing that. But I mean, cosmetically, I can tell that it's fine. It just needs a service. I don't need to see inside because this lume tells me everything I need to know. So, you know, I didn't really feel the need to take the time to get this thing into a clamp and get the big case back tool out and screw it down and really honk on this thing. I'll wait until it's time to service it. I don't like to take it apart if I don't have to. Interestingly, by the way, this bracelet, it's the right configuration for this general watch model, but not for the brown dial, for the blue dial. This brown dial, it's supposed to be silver and gold, not silver and silver. I think this actually looks better, but it's interesting. Somebody swapped that out at some point. It's nearly brand new. It matches the rest of the watch in condition, so I'm wondering if the person who owned it went to the jeweler and said, hey, do you have one that's not gold? Or something else happened. I think it's interesting. So I'm going to put you down and we're going to talk about the dials. Hang on. $63.09. This is a really, really nice 1979 Suwa. It's really clean,